Right. So my group is called Teacherpreneurs Club, and I know that the perception of this word is different in different cultures. I must say, I think we understand it a little bit differently here in Russia. So when you hear the word teacherpreneur, who do you think of? What does this word mean for you?
Well, you mentioned this to me when we spoke yesterday, and I actually found a definition. Hold on, let me see if I can.
And without a definition, can't you answer my question without Googling it?
Teacherpreneurs, it says here, are classroom experts who teach students regularly, but also have time, space, and reward to grow and execute their own ideas. So that's what this definition says a teacherpreneur is.
I know.
To me, a teacherpreneur is a teacher who does a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think of a teacherpreneur as being someone who, what's the verb we're supposed to use now, monetizes their skill.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not only that, let's say they're a freelance teacher who earns their income by teaching, but they add on something more.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a teacher in a school, basically the school defines the product and the construct and how that product or course or training program is delivered. If you're a teacherpreneur, I think you create that yourself and sometimes deliver it yourself too. And I think you have to be much more agile in terms of how you work with the market, because you don't have a huge marketing department. You can make decisions very quickly and define your products to suit your clients much more quickly. And then you might, you might start doing add-ons, like you might say, right, I'll be doing one-to-one classes with you, then I'll offer a one-to-one online half-an-hour surgery, then I'm going to create this course material and you can have that. So I think it's much more, for me, is that how you see it in Russia? Is that the view?
That's the way I see it. So I really like what I'm hearing from you now. So for me, I really like what you said, that it's somebody who does something more. So you can be a freelance teacher, but you don't necessarily become a teacherpreneur when you're only teaching freelance, for me. So when you do something extra, maybe, I don't know, you develop games or you print cards and sell games and do an online course or something like that. So because there is this preneurial part, which is a bit different.
Yeah, so that's my understanding of it. It's this little bit more.
Okay, no, I like what I hear, because when I was Googling this word, and I found something like there is a negative connotation or something that usually, as the definition said, teacherpreneur is somebody who works within an organization and has some creative ideas and basically makes problem for everybody else because they have to work then.
Yeah, I think that in many organizations, if you are that sort of person, you can make waves in an organization because you just don't accept everything unquestioningly. You're the person who's always saying, oh, but what about this? Or why can't we do this? And that person is often viewed as being a little bit irritating.
Mm-hmm.
But my mother had a very good saying, which I use a lot, which is every oyster needs a grain of sand to make a pearl.
Oh.
And so it's, if you can view those people as your potential grain of sand that could make something beautiful, you don't get so irritated by them, because these people who are questioning things are the people that you need to have. But often, and that's why often these people do go freelance, because it's too much of a fight otherwise all the time.
Yeah, I know, that's what happened to me. I've fought with management at my 2 previous jobs, and then I thought, okay,
enough. I mean, some organizations are open enough to people like that they actually encourage this or they welcome that, but in my experience, that's the minority. That doesn't happen very often.
That's really. But, now with this agile thing, with the new approach to organizational structure, I'm not sure if it works in ELT, We should ask Dmitry about that maybe. So I know that different, I don't know, shops are managed by the team, so they kind of have this entrepreneurial spirit. So maybe
that could be a way forward, I think. And you have to have the right kind of people on your team as well, who are prepared to work like that. There's a very interesting organisation in the UK. It's a chain of sandwich shops, and it's called Pret-a-Manger.
Yeah.
And their recruitment process is, you have the standard, you fill in an application form, you get an interview, and if you pass the interview, you have to go and work in one of their sandwich shops for a day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's all the other employees in that shop who decide whether you get offered a job or not. Because they see how you work with the team, and can you work together, and, you know, are you a difficult person? So I think if you have some kind of team decision about who is working with you, that's actually quite an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, that is. I want to ask you, like, what do you think if it's going to work in teacher management and ELT? But I'm not doing it now. I think I'll ask it in Moscow.